Christina was right. Opalaka was a hell of a place. Never been there before, only pictures of Opalaka on the news when someone had been shot, and the reporters had a crowd of people, women with conditioning caps over their hair and men in undershirts with their pants around their thighs. I turned into the driveway of a housing project which was littered with broken boxes, broken down cars, and broken furniture, stained with mud. The smell of some dead animals mingled with the mud. Some wore dreads, and some were bald. Others looked like the young black man that was shot by the police. A chill ran through my body. I couldn't have picked a worse day to come to this part of Miami. These were the young men on television, with a mouthful of gold teeth, gold chains, and undershirts. The ones who would stick a gun in your face and rob you, and even kill you for a pair of fake sunglasses bought at the flea market. No wonder, my father used to say, he disliked black Americans. One boy, about 5 years old, barefoot, wearing a yellow shirt and faded torn jeans, with arms outstretched like the wings of an airplane, weaved through the group singing.
I believe I can die, got shot by the FBI. All I wanted was a chicken wing. My mom took me to Burger King. I believe I can soar. See me crushing me to the door. I believe I can die.
I checked the apartment number that Christina had sent to my phone, 1132. I knocked on the door. A face peeked from behind the window. Who is it? Kathryn Bailey, Jasmine's mother. Miss Bailey, I don't tell your friend. I don't know where Jasmine at. Betty, please. I need any help I can get. Any information will help me. Thin and worn out, she was covered from neck to ankle in tattoos. A kitten clawing her neck, a steaming cup of coffee on her breast, a pelican on her thigh, and half a moon on her ankle. Jasmine had met Betty in college, but then Betty dropped out because she was pregnant. I still couldn't believe they could have been friends. Beer bottles lined the counter. Television dinner spilled out of the garbage can that overflowed with empty cans. Pizza boxes and baby bottles were on top of the stove, ringed with rust and stains. Sorry about the place, she said. What happened with Jasmine? She disappeared and we don't know why. So how can I help you? I know that she has been helping you buy things. How did... Don't worry, Betty. Lord knows when I was your age and I had Jasmine, I had a good friend who helped me too. Kathryn noticed Betty was overwhelmed with the two small girls and helped comfort the two girls for a while, even with Diamond, her oldest, who was probably under 3, who had pooped all up to her navel. Can you get out a little? Betty let out a laugh that sounded so bitter I think even she was surprised. No, ma'am, it's just me, the babies, and my baby daddy. So is he the one who gave you the black eye? I'm sorry. It's okay, ma'am. I deserved it. I held my tongue, but my blood was boiling in my veins. He wanted... She looked over at the baby, and I told him I was still sore from the stitches. But he held me down on the bed and poked me in my eye. He said that as long as I lived under his roof, I was his. Then he went to work. That's why I was afraid to let you in. If he comes in and finds you in here, he might think you're a social worker, and he might do something. I understand. Floyd and Beryl used to have fights like that. Their fights were always behind closed door. But once when I was 13, I knocked on the door and I saw my mother's bloody nose. Turning to Betty, I told her, you need to get away from here before he kills you. I can't, ma'am. What would I do? I don't have no work. And he's called me already and said he's sorry. He's bringing me flowers. My advice was falling on deaf ears. I couldn't say anything that would offend Betty. So I finished one braid and moved a little closer to her. Do you know why Jasmine ran away? You never trusted her, ma'am. You never trusted her. That's all we would talk about when she was here, about the quarrels you would have. But the world is a dangerous place. It is, ma'am, and she knows that. I'm afraid, Betty. Afraid of all the things that I know could happen to her out there. I don't want what happened to me to happen to her. You mean to me too? Go ahead. You can say it. I nodded my head. Betty came closer to me. I'm sure she's okay, ma'am. She was my only friend I could count on when I needed someone to talk to, and yes, borrow some money. Then Betty lifted her head up, almost triumphantly, and said, but I helped her too. When all the girls used to tease her by calling her High Yellow and Oreo, I was by her side until she pulled away from me. But why did she pull away from you? She just did, ma'am. She just did. For a while, she didn't talk with me. She began hanging out and talking with all the Cuban girls. I didn't understand a word of what they were saying, but I was beginning to think she wanted people to believe she was Spanish. That's until she took Professor Virgo class. Could Professor Virgo have been the one who gotten Jasmine pregnant? That man, he's a saint, ma'am. He straightened her out. Straighten her out? How did he straighten her out? Jesus, ma'am, you have to leave. What? Where do I go? Just leave, please. What do I do? Go to the back and wait for me. I'll go to the front and I'll tell you when you can go. A dead pit bull hung from the fence and had a yellow cord around its neck. Flies buzzed around it. I tried going around it to avoid the flies, but a pair of pit bulls came up beside the fence and looked as if they would jump over it or knock it down. If they broke the fence, I would be killed. I could see the headlines in the paper. Nurse mauled to death in Opelika. Police do not suspect foul play. I spotted an older woman who peeled an orange and signaled me when it was safe to go. I ran and waved goodbye to the lady. Christina was right. Sisters gotta stick together.